I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. How's everybody doing today? It's Mark the Ministry Dude. I want to talk a little bit today about alcoholism, drug use, things like that. I remember years ago, I got in trouble for drinking, of course. But you'd go to those meetings, Alcoholics Anonymous. You say, "Hi, my name is Mark. I'm an alcoholic." I remember the first time I went to one of them meetings. I mean, it was really scary because, here I am, admitting that I had a problem, but I really didn't want to be there, because I got in trouble through the court systems. That was one of the requirements. I was on probation and I had to go to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. And I'd had to get a sponsor, and I'd have to have, someone sign a paper saying that I went. That's the way they did things back then. I don't know how they do it now, but and it's actually kind of, that's why they call it Alcoholics Anonymous, because you want to be anonymous. A lot of people, me, I didn't really care if people knew I drank or not. I mean, it was a known fact around town that I was drunk, and I smoked pot and whatever, whatever I get my hands on. The drug of the day, we call it, whether it be cocaine or, pills or, speed or whatever, that's better living through chemicals. That's one lady that I knew coined that phrase. I don't know if she coined it or not, but she's the first place I heard it. She was also in the group with me. Yeah, I'm not going to mention any names or anything. I said that once, and people kind of got mad at me because I told somebody's first and last name, which you're supposed to, that's anonymous. You're supposed to just use a first name basis. And if I said her first name, people would probably know who it was. So I'm just going to keep silent about that. But a lot of people, they don't really necessarily want to be anonymous when it comes to their drinking and like that. Some people do, like if they're professionals, they're a doctor or a lawyer or something. They're friends of Bill's. The guy's name was Bill. I can't remember what his last name was. It's been over 20 years since I've been to a meeting. It all comes down to one thing. They can force you to go to these meetings. They can, you can get counseling. I mean, I went to a psychotherapist, and, there's all kinds of programs that they've got set up for, alcoholism and drug use. Another program that they should set up that they don't is homelessness. I mean, there's a lot of people that are homeless too because of alcohol and drugs. But, when you try to force people to do something that they don't want to do, you're just stirring, the hive, as they say. You're knocking a bee's nest with a stick. You're just going to anger people. If they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. I see it here, people get in trouble and they're supposed to pay restitution or whatever, and a lot of them don't. And I noticed the way the law works too is they don't make these people do anything that they're supposed to do. And that kind of discourages the people that, are the victims. The law don't help them, do this stuff, but yet the law will try to dictate over people, if they do get in trouble, but they don't really do anything about it. The laws are too lenient on people, is my opinion, if you get in trouble, you should have to pay for it no matter what, If you owe people, stole money from them, you got to pay restitution, you should pay restitution. If you're in jail, you should go out on a work program to help pay for that. I don't know why they don't have programs like that. to help pay for, oh, there goes the doorbell, to help pay for this stuff, I mean, there's some people that got money stolen from them that it just ruined their life because there's no way for them to, get back out of that. Hey, Audrey. So, that's just, in my opinion, the government should do more to help these people recover what they've lost. Whether there's the big meth thing now is, people get addicted to this, and then they give them another drug to try to get them off that, and they get addicted to that. So, it's just a cycle. It just goes around and around and around and around. And there's really no cure. All they're doing is just, they're just putting a Band-Aid on it instead of getting to the root of the problem. That's what they do with everything. That's what the government, just throw money at it. It'll go away. Just throw money at it. When they really need, something to get to the root of the problem to fix it. Find out if somebody's an alcoholic or a drug addict, find out why they are, get to the root of that problem. And get them help. Try to get it so that they want to be helped, Show them, what their life could look like, or, it was over 20 years ago, 25, about almost 25 years ago, since I had my first drink, or, my last drink, or my last marijuana cigarette, or cocaine, or whatever it was. It's been over 25 years now. And it was just something that, if you're a hardcore alcoholic and like that, you can't just quit cold turkey like that because it'll affect your body. Because your body crazy. You got to do it. What I did was I just kind of phased it out, because I really, in my mind, I got tired of feeling like crap all the time. I wake up in the morning, I have a headache, and I'm sluggish, and, your hands would shake. You had to have another drink and like that. And so I would have that drink. I have woke up in the morning and drank. And I used to have a water pipe, and I'd do a one hitter like that just to, you think you had to have it to get your mind going like that. But, eventually it catches up to you. When you get older, it just, your body just can't do that stuff anymore. And, you've got to wake up and see that, what can I do to change this? What kind of things can I, help me, Lord. That's what people should be saying. Instead of helping me, government, help me, Lord. Right here, just pick this book up. Do a little reading on it, Say, Lord, help me. I want to let you into my heart, and I just need to get rid of this monkey on my back. And that's exactly what it is. It's just something that people don't need. And with the pandemic now, I mean, it's just drug and alcohol use has, skyrocketed. And if you're an alcoholic or a drug addict like that, you can't just have one drink or, I'll have a puff off that marijuana cigarette, or I'll do one hitter and I'll be fine. No, you can't do that. You gotta change your lifestyle. That's what I did. I changed my lifestyle. I got a different circle of friends. I was at the point where every day I'd go to the bar. Every night after work, I'd go to the bar. I was a functional alcoholic. Yeah. And there's a lot of people like that. I go to the bar every night and I'd, bingo with people, and I'd think, wow, this is great. I went to this bar. I ran a tab, and at the end of the week, I'd pay my tab. I had to start all over again. And I drove junky, crappy cars. So most of the time I walked because, I couldn't really afford the insurance on the car because I had so many tickets from drunk driving that it wasn't cost effective for insurance. And my life was one big crap hole, I'm telling you. I lived in a dumpy old apartment. I walked to work or drove my junky car, and I was always worried that I was going to get stopped by the cops and get another drunk driving ticket or something, or a speeding ticket or something. It was always, you always got that in the back of your mind that you're worried about it. See, so what I did was I think the last straw was when I lived down in Florida. This was about 25 years ago. I'm driving down the highway. I just moved down there. And I'm driving down the highway. I've got this Chevy Caprice, 78 or 79, somewhere around there anyways. And all of a sudden, I've got my sunglasses on. I just got done smoking a joint. I had a beer in the car with me. And all of a sudden, wham, out of nowhere, this big rock comes down and hits my windshield and bounces off of it. It's a good thing it bounced off because it would have hit me right in the face or in the chest or somewhere and probably hurt me. So, I pulled off quickly and I got out and I looked around to see if there was anybody there, but I didn't see anybody. But, that kind of, made me think, well, here I am driving high and I'm got a beer in my car. Now, if I was probably sober, I probably would have been a little bit more alert and I would have seen that coming and moved out of the way, But here I was high as a kite and I was, and all of a sudden, bang, and this thing, it's probably a good thing I was wearing sunglasses because it probably would have got glass in my eye. The worst part about it was I just put a windshield in that car a couple of months before that. So this is the second windshield, so evidently this car was bad luck or something. So I put another windshield in it and I sold the car after that. And then it wasn't long after that I met my wife that I got now. And I met her in a bar, by the way. We've been together for 26 years now. But, I was getting divorced from my one wife. And, I said, I just sat in my bed one night and I looked up and I prayed and I said, Lord, there's got to be a better way than this. I mean, with this woman that I was married to for, 4 or 5 years, we're getting divorced because, I was alcoholic. She was an alcoholic too. So it just kind of, but she wanted things that I didn't want. And, and it didn't work out. Anyways, a friend of mine that I was working with down in Florida, and we was out one night and I met my wife that I got now and in a bar, and the club actually was called the Eagles Club. But, I went and she invited me to a Halloween party at her house, and I went out there a week later, and I never left. We've been together ever since, that's 1995, I believe it was. But, and my life changed after that. I mean, I had still drank a little bit, but, I wasn't as hardcore. And then we started, going to church together, and I kind of I felt different, it was a change of lifestyle. And that's what a lot of people need to, or alcoholics, or you need a change of scene. You need a change of lifestyle, because if you just do the same thing over and over again, you're going to get the same results. You've got to change things. You can't, keep doing the same thing and thinking that, if you go to a bar every day, you're going to be drinking. If you hang around people that smoke pot and do drugs, and you're going to be a drug addict, You got to change your lifestyle. You got to change your circumstances. I know people don't like change. I didn't like change either, but, I moved to Florida from New York because I got tired of the cold weather. And, I was just, all the people that I hung around with were just, they were going nowheres in the world, and I wanted more for my life. I knew I could do better. It just, yeah, look at that, the old Vulcan sign there. What was it, Star Trek? Yeah. Spock, Dr. Spock. And and there's always a better life for people. You've just gotta say, Lord, help me. I've got this problem and I need help with it. And I don't know what to do, or talk to somebody, go talk to a preacher, talk to somebody that that doesn't drink or smoke, and, ask them, say, how do you do it? How do you live your life without this monkey on your back? Because eventually you're going to get in trouble with it. It's going to, I've seen people that are, they're alcoholics. They retain water in their legs, or their legs will swell up, and their face will get, their nose. It's, you can tell that they've got some kind of an addiction problem. But I'm sure there's people that have those symptoms too that aren't alcoholics. But it could have led up to that though. Maybe when they was younger, they drank a lot, but they quit. See, that's the thing, to try to get the help that you need before it gets out of hand. I know my mind, the way I thought was, you got to have that last, when I go to a party, I'd sit right there at the keg and I'd just keep filling my drink up and drink. I wouldn't socialize. I didn't go there to socialize. I went there to drink. Where a lot of people, like a social drinker, they'll have a drink or two and they'll mingle around with people like that. I wasn't a social drinker. I was a keg drinker or a bottle drinker. I'd hang out where the beer was, right by the cooler or by the keg or whatever. You got to be a little more. I know some people are introverts and they don't really like to socialize with people. But if you go home, you have a drink or two, that's good. But if you're the kind of person that can't just stop, like me, I couldn't stop at just one or two. I'd have to keep going and going and going. I remember the last time I drank was in the late 90s. And I drank probably a 6-pack of beer. And I was hungover for 2 days after, because I wasn't used to doing that, because I'd quit. I'd cut back, and then, I can't remember what the circumstances were, but I drank 4 or 5 drinks, and I had a headache, and I had a hangover for a couple of days after that. I was kind of sluggish and like that, and I said to myself, that's it. I can't do that no more. I'm tired of feeling like this. And you should do the same thing, too. If you got trouble, maybe you like to drink a lot, or some people do binge drinking. They'll be sober for a while, and then all of a sudden, bang, and then they'll feel like crap. I knew this lady when I lived up in New York. I rented a room off of her, and she would go out to the bar on a Friday night, and she'd drink draft beer. And Saturday morning, I'd wake up like Saturday morning. I went out with her a lot. I'd probably get just as drunk as she wouldn't like that. But I drank bottled beer. I didn't like the draft beer unless I was at a keg party. That's got air in it. So, but the CO2 in the bars, I think that kind of contributes to the hangovers. But all weekend, she would just lay there with a washcloth on her forehead and like that. I said, why do you do that to yourself? Drink a different beer or something. I had the hangovers like that too, but I would say, and I should have looked at myself in the mirror and say, why do you do this to yourself too? But it's just people, they put themselves in that position and they make themselves suffer, and they don't have to. So if you have any kind of like an addiction, like maybe you're even addicted to sex or something, talk to somebody about it. Say, I've got this problem. I really like to get help. If you're at the position where, you want to help, some people, they're not there. They haven't hit bottom yet. They don't want to help. They think that what they're doing is okay. But even if you're on the fence about it, get some help. Talk to somebody. Call a preacher, a pastor. Talk to your neighbors, anybody. If somebody that's so, even even if you're afraid to, take that first step. But do it. There's a lot of things out there that can help you overcome whatever problems you may have, especially when it comes to alcohol and drugs. There's a lot of programs that you can do. I mean, you can even do it yourself if you have the discipline. That's what I did. Now I'm an ordained minister now. And I'm not the kind that got the certificate off of, some website. I actually went to an online college and became one. But anyways, get the help that you need. Talk to somebody, Talk to somebody that's not an alcoholic or a drug addict like you. Or somebody that, actually the best person to talk to would be somebody that's been there, but they're clean and sober now, and they know what to tell you. I know what to tell you. It's something you don't need. You need to change your lifestyle. That's the biggest thing right there, is to change your circumstances. If you got your friends, if the kind of friends that you hang around with are alcoholics or drug addicts, then you need to get yourself a new set of friends, because they're really not your friends if they encourage you to drink. Because if their life goes down the toilet, well, then your life's going to go up. That's all I can say. This is Mark, the ministry dude. I'm signing off for today. I love you. And if you have an addiction problem, please get help. I'm going to leave a link to the book that I wrote. It's called Stairway to Addiction. Check out the link. Read the book. It's got some pretty funny stories in it about alcoholism, but it's got some things in there that can help you, overcome this get that monkey off your back. Don't let it ruin your life. Be a productive social person. We love you here at Ministry Dude Marketing, Ministry Dude Marketing. Yeah. We love you here at Ministry Dude, and we hope you have a blessed day, everybody.